very good evening to all of you, and thank you for joining me in this power dressing and body language. And this is, basically aimed towards the interviews that you guys would be going for, be it, data scientist role or a data analytics or, anything, any kind of job interviews that you're going for. All right, let me quickly introduce myself, just in case most of you know me, but just a quick introduction. My name is Eeshani. I'm one of the directors of IvyProSchool, and along with being a director, I'm also a trainer at Ivy. Now, very important thing that I have felt, in our community is there is not a lot of emphasis that is given on soft skills and not emphasis given on how you look, how you dress, how you present yourself. We being Indians, we, kind of bank on our technical skill sets a lot, right? But when you go for an interview, what do you think is happening? Is it that your technical skill sets are getting you a job, or what do you think is the first thing that happens when you go for an interview? Now, being a COVID period, Corona is going on, not too many physical interviews are happening. People are still getting job offers through the video interviews. People are using technologies like Zoom and, giving interviews online also. So we're going to talk about both aspects, physical as well as video, right? What do you think is the most important thing as soon as I turn on the video or you turn on the video or you step into someone's office? What is going on over there?
The appearance of the person next to me.
The appearance of the person. And as soon as someone is looking at you or you look at someone, let's say someone enters your home or office, when you're looking at someone, you are already kind of making an impression about who that person is or how that person is, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. All of us agree the first impression does matter of when you walk into a room, walk into someone's office.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Right? Now, when you talk about the first impression, just a guess, how many seconds do you think it takes a human being to form an impression about someone without even that person opening their mouth and introducing themselves? Just a rough guess.
5 seconds.
4 to 5 seconds.
4 to 5 seconds, that's it. Hardly in seconds, 4 to 5 seconds, and I've already made a judgment, how I'm going to take this interview. Okay, so since first impressions are important, I'm not saying that they are the last impression. I would never go with that. I've had instances where I had a different opinion about someone and in the end it was very different, but it's very difficult. Once you created a first impression of yourself, it's very difficult to change that impression. You really have to work extra hard to change that impression. So tell me one thing, when you talk about the first impressions, what do you think are the important components of it? Like, and don't think about yourself going for an interview. Think about when you're meeting someone for the first time. It may be a party. It may be, casual get together with your, let's say, old school friends or college friends, and you're just meeting them. What do you think are the components that you focus on?
Ma'am,
Face
body
appearance and
language,
dress code.
then a professional attitude with yet being with a friendly appearance, body
Okay.
language, presence, a smile on face.
So dressing, body language, to feel confident about yourself. And how do you show, Amit, that you're confident? Kaushik, how do you show that you're confident before talking? Remember that. Hairstyle, Arvind, very important.
Facial
When you talk
expression.
confidently, that's the second thing. How do you show someone you're confident?
Eye contact.
Eye contact, so your gestures, right? And that's exactly what I've written over here. Dressing, my appearance. In appearance, I would talk about, if it's a woman, makeup, if you're wearing some jewelry, if you're a man, your haircut, your hairstyle, all those things would matter. Your body language, how you enter into a room, what is your posture, that is your body language. How you greet people, those are the gestures. Your smile on the face, those are the gestures. Those are the things that make a first impression in the person. So imagine, let's say you own an office, and there is a person who may have, a PhD. So a very intelligent, intellectual person who walks into our office, but is very shabbily dressed and asks for an appointment with you. And when you call the front reception to understand that, who has come to meet me, and that person describes this is a guy, he wants to meet you, and he's dressed like this. So what is your instant reaction?
Not good.
So what will you do? Will you take up that meeting or not take up that meeting?
Yeah, maybe just in a hi or hello term, or I would like to finish it as quick as possible. I would not like to extend it based on the first appearance, or
Okay.
probably I would like to know the main motto behind his meeting with me. And if I'm
Okay.
interested, then I might give it a thought. Otherwise, I will just ask him to leave like in a
To
professional
leave.
way.
All right. Sneha, what do you think? Sanchita, Shikha, seeing you after a very long time, if you're the old Shikha that we have at Ivy. EB, Garima, what do you guys think? Arvind? Because he's a PhD, you would like to know, okay? But he did not have any prior experience appointment with you, Kaushik. Then also you'll allow him to come and talk to you.
No, because he has come to my office to meet me, then I would just give a try meeting him. So if
Okay,
he's okay, then I would take.
all right. Okay, you guys, trust me, it doesn't happen that way. My personal opinion is to meet him. Okay, it's good. But typically, the way it happens, since we all are so bogged down by our daily chores and we already have our task, any meeting which is outside the schedule is we try to shove it off. Okay, to be very plain and simple. And if the person doesn't look impressive, if my person at the reception only is not impressed by him, I would definitely tell him to come back later after taking an appointment and send me an email. What is this meeting regarding? This is what I typically do. I'm being very honest. Okay. So, but at the same time, if someone is very sharp dressed and he enters into the office and he looks like an important person just based on his appearance, based on his body language and his dressing, even the person who is telling you there's a person to meet you will give enough weightage for that meeting to happen over there. Would you agree? Because that person would look someone who is important.
Yes, ma'am.
So yes,
Yes.
there
Yes,
is
ma'am.
good chances of having a meeting over there. So meeting, first impression makes a lot of difference. So let's start. I'm going to make you watch a video, and I would request all of you to have a pen and a paper ready with you. It's a small exercise. I want to do it with you right in the beginning. Everybody, I'm giving you 1 minute. Grab a piece of paper, a pen, or if you have your gadgets, your laptop or your phone where you can make some notes, you will have to make some notes for this exercise. Let me know when you guys are ready. You already were ready with notepad and pen, I believe,
Yes, ma'am.
Arvind and
Good to go
Shruti.
now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Everybody seems to be ready. Great. So I'm going to play this video. And what I want you to do is, it's a video in which you will see multiple characters. I think there's 6 or 7 people who entered into a interview room, and how they enter or what are the things that they say in the beginning before the interview start. So make a note of it to understand. And what I want you to understand is jot down the do's and don'ts of that particular character. So each person that will enter into a room, there's a name given to that character, and just understand, okay, what were the do's and don'ts of each and every character, and then we'll figure out what is the best way to go ahead. Ready? Okay. You all can hear it, right? No audio. You can't hear me? You can't hear the video at all?
No, ma'am, the video
No,
is not
ma'am.
audible.
No, the video
Yes,
is not
ma'am.
audible.
Just one. Okay, try this one now. No?
Still not.
No, ma'am. The first time
No,
you
ma'am.
played it, it
Okay.
was audible.
The first time I played it, it was audible.
Yeah,
I
you
have,
just played it and stopped it.
yeah, just hold on 1 second. Huh? Really sure what to do with it. And then after I'm going to sync my phone and this thing. Welcome to 30 Seconds to Impress. Did you know? Welcome to 30 Seconds to Impress. Did you know that studies have shown that the outcome of an interview can be predicted within the first 15 seconds? This means that when it comes to interviewing, first impressions matter. We gave our actors 30 seconds to play the role of a potential candidate. Based on first impressions, who would you hire? Could you hear that? No, Anthony?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's yeah. All right, yeah, have a seat. I have your resume here. So, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah, I have Sally's got a question for you too.
Okay.
Salary and vacation time.
Okay. Well, usually we discuss that later on in the interview process. 1 second now. So much for having me today. Oh, you're very welcome. Have a seat. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, so I have your resume here that you sent in, and yes, oh my gosh, since I sent you that, I also got so much more. I've been volunteering, I've been a part-time job. It's just so great. Oh, well, that is fantastic. Do you have an updated resume for me? Oh, no, we can just talk about it. Oh, okay, all right. Well, let's get started then. Hi. Are you Krista? Here that you sent in earlier. And so what's going to happen is I have some questions for you, and then at the end, you can ask me some questions, and I'll answer your questions for you if you have anything you want to ask me. Okay. So let's get started. All right. You Todd?
I'm Tyler.
Todd and Warren.
Hello, nice to meet you.
You do have a seat.
Something?
I did. I have it right here. Thank you very much. So I haven't had a chance to review your resume. And so what's going to happen today is I have some questions for you that I'd like you to answer. And then at the end, you're going to have a chance to ask me some questions if you would like. All right, so let's get started. Okay, look at me. Here we go. I'm in the interview right now. Yeah, right. Okay. Are you Caitlin? Yes, I am. Lauren, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Have a seat right here. Okay. So I have your resume here, and I have some questions for you. And then at the end, you'll get a chance to ask me any questions that you might have about the position. Okay. All right. So let's get started. Hello, are you David?
Yeah.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Lauren. I'm on it. Have a seat right here. Okay. So you have your resume here that you sent ahead of time. So what we're going to do is I have some questions for you. And then at the end, you'll get a chance to ask me some questions if you'd like. So let's get started here. Okay, who would you hire?
Ma'am, obviously not the third, fifth, and sixth one,
So
because
you did not make notes of the name.
yes, I was making the third lady. Actually, she was not making any eye contact. She was looking here and there. She was not making any eye contact. The fifth one, I believe she came in with her mobile phone
No.
operating
What
in her
about
hand.
names? I don't remember what is first, fourth, fifth. The names. Whom would you hire?
Names were not audible, ma'am. Actually, the voice was
But
like
it was
way too low. The
visible on
audio
the
was
screen. Dhritiman, it was visible on the screen.
no. But the audio was not that clear actually, so I couldn't hear the names.
That's okay. The names were popping on the screen. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't see
So
that.
Arvind liked Marisa. Audrika said Todd. Amit said Marisa. Todd. Sneha, it's Todd, not Ted. And Steven is in India. No, Steven is not in India. Not that the characters are Indian. Ishan says Todd, Marisa, Todd seems to be a very popular choice, and the competition is by Marisa. Okay. Just not going to look at, just to make sure, this first person who came in, right? This one, Anthony. Nobody liked Anthony. What is the problem with Anthony?
I think he.
Ridhiman, let everyone
Okay.
talk.
Okay. Sure.
Someone else, please.
Ma'am, hello, ma'am. This is Advay.
Yeah, Advay, tell me.
Ma'am, Anthony is, I think, he's talking to some certain kind of family members or something like that, ma'am. No professional attitude, ma'am, for
Not a
Anthony.
professional attitude. Okay, Reeti says he looks like a clumsy person because first thing he does is hand it over to this person and he's already late, which again, it's not a very nice thing to do to your employer.
Sorry.
Yeah, he just hands it over to her and then he settles down and hold it and take it again. Correct. So that's why not a very professional attitude. Very good. Let's move on to the second game. 1 second. In fact, he's fixing his. Okay, so Marisa is coming next, the person you liked. And do you think this is correct to ask about the salary and vacation time even before the interview has happened?
No,
No.
not at all.
Not at all, right? You're not selected and
No.
you're assuming your selection has been done and you go forward. Not at all. Okay.
Yes, and it is not also
Next
advisable,
is,
ma'am, to extend the hand for handshaking
okay.
to be the first person actually, because it is the interviewer who is supposed to extend his or her hand for a handshake.
Not
Not
really. This is a probably something that we follow in India, but abroad it's not really like
okay.
that. You can extend your hand. That's not a problem.
Okay,
Now,
ma'am.
some of you picked Marisa, some of you did not pick Marisa. So my question is, people who did not pick Marisa, what was the problem there? Very good, Midul. Point number 1, she didn't carry a resume. And what else?
I think she is the one who was looking here and there, not any eye
No,
contact.
she's not the one. Ridhiman, you need
Okay,
to take
she's
better
not. Okay.
next time.
Yeah, sure. I mixed up. Sorry.
No one did carry the resume, Arvind. That is also correct. However, one character did ask that, did you get my resume or not? Otherwise, I'm carrying a copy. No resume, but her body language is better. Don't you think in case of Marisa, she was over enthusiastic about it? She's like, oh, I've done so much. She cut in between the interview. Do you think that's the right thing?
No, ma'am.
No, that's again a very bad thing to do in the interviews, that you become a little more, that this kind of body language is little called aggressive body language. It's aggressive body language, okay, in which you are trying to overpower the person in front of you. So this is also not the greatest one. All right, who else is there? The next came this person, Krista. What is the problem with Krista?
Bad
Eye
attitude.
contact.
Underconfident,
But
very important, very inattentive. Exactly. She was looking here and there and trying to understand. Even when she asked, is this Krishna? She was very, dumbfolded in front of it. And after second time when she was asked, she said, yes, it's me. Right? So she was very
Yeah,
distracted.
she's the one.
She's very distracted, right? So again, a very, very bad body language. If a person enters into an office or an interview like this, what is your impression of that person?
Not serious for the interview.
Not serious, yeah,
Not
not
serious about
serious.
the interview. Very good. Not serious about the interview at all. All right, let's move on to the next character. And here comes the most famous guy after Marisa, Todd. So all the people who picked Todd, why he was your personal choice?
He is well dressed up.
He's very
He's
well
carrying a
dressed up.
he is carrying a professional attitude, then proper eye
Okay,
contact.
wait, Dhritiman.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Control. Yeah,
Yeah,
let others also
yeah,
talk.
friends, please go ahead.
All right, guys. Sharp dressing. He wasn't sitting properly. Ketiki, he's a tall guy. So, maybe because of that, it didn't seem like he was sitting properly. What else? Yeah, he needed a leg room. Pretty tall guy, huh? He seemed confident. And did you focus on the greetings? I don't know how many of you were able to hear because of his accent. But as soon as he met, he said, yes, hi, I'm Todd. How are you doing? Good to meet you. His gestures were correct, right? So he was very well mannered. He was confident. He did ask, do you have my resume? If you don't, I have it, right? So
Right.
when a person comes in like this in an interview room, what is the impression you're getting?
Very positive.
Very positive attitude, good vibes, exactly. Someone you would want to have on your team, correct? A balanced, composed person, well dressed with all the mannerisms and walking into the room, good vibes, professional. Very good. And let's look at the other person. This, what about her? I think
Yeah,
her name
definitely a
was
no-no.
No,
Kathleen.
definitely no.
Why, Kaushik? Why definitely no for Kathleen?
No, point number one, she is on the phone while entering itself. After that, she is drinking coffee during the interview and
She's
not
drinking
well dressed.
coffee and not well dressed. Correct. She is sipping her coffee. Well, you're not supposed to eat and drink unless they offer you something. About her dressing and her bag, if you notice her bag also, that's also very, casual, as if, she's walking into a mall, right? It's nothing that she's going for an interview. And she's talking to someone right at the door of the interviewer and then cutting the phone and entering. And the way she sits, I don't know how many of you have noticed, but she was sitting like this while the interviewer was talking. So her manner was pretty casual. Again, when you
Right.
see someone like that, do you think that person is really interested to get a job, or you must be thinking, oh, she just walked like any other job interview and she has just, going to spend some time and go? What was your impression? Just like that, right? All right. After Kathleen, I think, oh, this guy, Steven. What about Steven?
No, ma'am.
Some girls should also talk. Why no girls are participating? Hand in pocket, shy. Very good.
yeah, and very shy
Not
approach.
Indian. Arvind is after. He's an Indian. He's not Indian. He has hand in his pocket. He's very shy. Leg
Right.
was not shaking. He was moving his leg. Okay, sneaking before entering, not sneaking, not very confident about where he is entering. So not confident. And when does the leg shake typically?
When he
When one is
he's
nervous.
When
nervous, yes,
someone
he's
is
tense.
nervous. Exactly.
Nervous.
Now, when someone is nervous, doesn't seem confident, has his hands in his pocket, is hesitant to talk to us, would you hire this person?
Preferably no.
Definitely no.
I have a
Okay.
question.
So the problem is that you guys have to understand that, I am a trainer also, and I see a lot of people who I've seen they're technically brilliant. Like in the sense, if I have to ask them about some particular case study, or if I ask them a question, they are very good in telling me the right answer. But how you deliver the right answer is also very important, and how confident you look is also very important. Correct? So according to me, if I have to hire one of these guys, it would definitely be Todd. What do you guys think? Yeah,
Yes,
Arvind,
ma'am.
tell me.
There it's like a medical condition, when people overthink, or when they are given a problem, when they think about it, so they use some of their body parts. It's either your fingers or legs can be, say, legs will vibrate a lot, but that is a medical situation where the person is
It's
thinking
not
too much.
medical situation. Trust me, it's not medical situation.
But I
It's
have been
not
to
a
doctor,
medical
like
problem.
my
Huh?
case. I have been to doctor. Like I have went to a doctor. My doctor said that when you overthink, and because of the passion in the body, so it happens. But different means everybody is different. So he said it is not a medical issue. But
Yes,
when
it's
you
not a medical. That's what I said. It's not a medical issue. See, I'll tell you my story. When I was in college, and I am a person who likes to, be by the rule. Okay. So when I never used to let anyone cheat, or I didn't cheat, and whenever anyone would ask me about some answers, I would get so nervous that my leg would start to shake. So my parents could figure out when I'm lying and not lying because of my shaking leg. So it's not a medical condition, it's because of nervousness that happens. Now when you know, or anxiety or nervousness, now this is something that you would know beforehand about your body. Like in my case, I have cold sweats also, right? I would know about it. So what do? You have to start practicing to control it. Now I don't have the shaking leg anymore. In masters, if ever anybody asks for something, I was very, telling the person, no, I don't want to indulge in it, and that's it. Right? But when I go for the meeting, I make sure I wipe my palms very nicely, because I have this thing, because I know I'm going to shake my hand. And if somebody has cold sweat on the palms and I extend the hand and the person shakes it, do you think it's going to leave a very good impression of me, or would that person would ever be interested in shaking hands? No. How could you practice? It's all in your mind. I know it might sound very funny, Shilpi, but trust me, it's in your mind that, okay, I'm nervous. You're typically nervous in job interviews just because these are one of the rarest events in our life. One of the rarest events in our life. If you do something very frequently, you tend to overcome it. So when you enter into a job interview while working also, that is something different, right? Arvind, that might be a little, not typically that happens. Okay. No handshake, yes, thanks to COVID, no handshakes for me. And in India also, it's a different ball game. Anyways, let's not diverge from the topic. But all these small habits, and we'll talk about it in body language, these are something that you have to first of all make yourself aware of it, and there are means and methods of overcoming. If you have stage phobia, Shilpi, a very simple remedy for it. If you're traveling, right, in a public transport, and try to strike a conversation with the person sitting next to you, and he's a random person, right? So try to see if you're able to converse with the random person or not. That is the only way to get over your phobia. I don't know how many of you know this. When I was working in my company in US, I was first of all the only Indian, the only girl, and I was pretty young compared to all my team members. And somehow, through college, I got hired. My boss had come to college. He did some industry projects and he liked my work and he hired me from there. But he really didn't have a place for me to sit in his office. So when I joined the organization, they had to make a small cubicle for me where I could sit and do my work. And the cubicle was little away from my main team. I was sitting kind of alone. The cubicle was relatively very small, and you wouldn't believe it, but I was a super shy person. I would not indulge in conversation. In my whole master, I had one friend. Imagine that shy I was. and I would not even think that it was important to talk to people. I could literally touch all the walls of my cubicle while turning on my chair, that small cubicle, and I was pretty happy. And I thought, as long as I do my work and I am, putting in my hours, I will be noticed, I will be promoted. It didn't happen that way. And at the other places I saw, my team members, they would walk up, talk about the kids, talk about the vacations they're going to take, talk about some, baseball match or NBA match and random things, which I thought, oh my God, they're wasting time. But that is actually what helps you in breaking the ice and kind of creating a rapport with the person you are interacting with and getting you what you want. So Shilpi, the whole story was, it's not that if you see me as a trainer that I was like this all the time. I was never like this. It is through practice, and practice is how that you have to break the ice. Try to talk to random people. Okay. Just have a conversation. It may be 2 minutes, 5 minutes, but that will give you a confidence that, okay, whoever I am in front of, I can speak to that person. All right. Okay, body language is super duper important for all of us, not only in interviews, but when you're working and in your house also, the way you sit, everybody's making a judgment on who you are. So you will be surprised that when we are talking to someone, it's a combination of our words, our voice, the tone of voice, and the body language that sends the right signal to a person. I'll give you a small example. Let's say I'm a reporter, I'm a journalist, and I'm trying to report an, let's say, tsunami that had come, okay? And I use the words, the right words that were given to me, but I say that, oh, a tsunami had come in Indonesia and it wiped out the coastline, and so many people are, outside their houses and they're dispersed, created a lot of chaos, something like this. What do you think about how I narrated it? Because what you saw, since you can see me, it's a combination of my words, the voice, the tone of voice I had, and my body language. When you hear something like this from me, what comes to your mind? Was I smiling? I was excited. Should I be excited? I was smiling. And should I be excited about this? Not a bit of shock and sadness. And people will think, like, what kind of person this is? Such a bad thing has happened. People are this person. She's just laughing about it. Do you think people will take me seriously? Absolutely not. And could I create that emotion in new one and narrating it? Again, no. So when we are, using the words hardly make a difference. What message you convey with that word is dependent on your tone of voice and your body language completely. Another simple example, for example, like TVs have come, growing up, we had limited shows on the TV and a lot of people depended on radio. So imagine if you were, no, let's not imagine radio, we're talking about body language. So let's say on a TV, when you see commentators, right, cricket commentators are there and all the sports are there. And if somebody, hits a six, have you seen the body language of the person who's telling? Do you see the excitement? They will be excited to say, okay, Dhoni has done his, what is this shot called? Helicopter shot. And the ball has gone so many, rows in the stands. And they're happy and they're excited in the way they're expressing. You feel that you're sitting in the stadium with that person and watching that match, isn't it? So with the right body language, with the right tone and the words, you can actually pass on your emotions to the person who's listening to you. Now, why this is important for an interview? Why is it important in an interview? To have the right amount of body language and the tone, the proper tone. What kind of impression? To sound confident, okay. What else? that you're confident on the topic, correct?
To convey the right emotion.
To convey the right emotion, right? To even show that enthusiasm about being a part of that company, isn't it? Who does a company hire? The company hires a person who shows a passion towards the work they're offering and shows passion towards the company in which they're trying for. If I don't show my enthusiasm about the work, I don't have to go, crazy like the, the second person interview and she was overexcited, but I have to give the right amount of body language and tone of voice to convey that I'm here because I would love to come and work for your company. And this is the profile that I was looking for. As long as my body language is telling them this, I would be a person that the team is going to really consider. I've had instances working with multiple corporates in India, and I've been involved in hiring process of a lot of corporates when they hire from campuses. Arvind, good question. Hold on to that thought. I'll talk about that. And what I have seen is that they not only run behind the brains all the time, because in every industry there have to be people who are not only technically good but who are more presentable, who can talk and the forefront in the team, the marketing and the pushing the client that okay, what we are doing is correct. So when anybody is hiring, they're looking for both the type of people. If you have brains and you are assertive and you have a good body language, you show confidence, you are the perfect candidate. But we may have 60-40% some places, not only 50-50%. But body language is also something that takes you a long way in getting selected for your interview. Now, Arvind has asked a very good question. He says, what if the interviewer is very conservative? Then what do I do? If he doesn't smile, you enter an interviewer room, he's sitting, he's like, okay, hi Arvind, please have a seat. What do you do? Keep smiling, okay, and
Say thank you, maybe.
say thank you. But what about your body language, Namita? What about how you will start off the conversation since he is very conservative? Ask how you're doing. Very good. Smile.
Pleased to meet you.
Yeah. And so when a person is conservative, you can't go on a different tangent with them. You can't show overexcitement. So typically the way we interact is we have to mirror the body language of the interviewer. If the interviewer looks very enthusiastic and is talking in that fast pace and tone, I should match it up. And the person is talking slowly, asking questions slowly, then there's no point being very fast with him. Okay, so you have to always mirror. And trust me, just like he is or she's making a first impression by looking at you, you are also making an impression by looking at him, right Arvind? Because you said, okay, what if he's conservative? So how did you decide he's conservative? Probably because he did not smile. He was sitting behind on his chair. He didn't move forward to greet you or make you welcome in the room. That's why you think he's conservative. So your body language, you cannot be like relaxed like him, but at the same time, you need to tone down yourself. Like a person like me who's little on the hyper side, I need to tone down myself to talk to that person. Okay, does that answer your question, Arvind? We should always greet, no overdo of the gestures, correct? And one more thing which I find missing, even though it's not related to body language, but many times I don't see you guys remembering the name, and that was what the first exercise was all about. It's very, very important to remember names. Name of whom you are talking to. If there is a panel of interviewers, it's always nice to address the person by a name. You can put a Mr. since in India we still have that hierarchy going on in some places. So let's say, for example, Mr. Gupta, this is I would like to answer this question in this way. What is appropriate dress code for interview? We are coming to that. What are the components of body language? Gestures. When I say gestures, your hand movement. Can anybody tell me what are the signs of nervousness? How can I know if I'm nervous?
Not maintaining eye contact.
Oh, you don't, okay, maintain eye contact. Oh, I'm not asking how you know others are nervous. How do you know you are nervous? You will not make eye contact when you're nervous?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Shivering,
Shivering, hands not on desk, rubbing the hands, okay.
stammering, a lot of stammering.
Stammering, using hands to explain. Mridul, I kind of don't agree with you. Using hand to explain is pretty novel. I think that's what makes us human. Breathing heavily. Ketiki, I will just ask you this thing, that if you were sitting, let's say the interview is going to happen and you reach the interview place, let's say 15 to 20 minutes beforehand, do you think, and you're entering into the room, you've relaxed there for 15 minutes, good 15 minutes, and now you enter the room, do you think you will still be breathing heavily? No. Okay. So probably, those kind of things can happen. Stammering is there, looking here and there is there, looking at the watch, so little distracted. Okay. Now there are few things, you will be surprised, like shaking hands. We feel that they are shaking, but they are not shaking it so much that the person can notice. So what should you do? Don't bring your hands up if you know you have shaking hands, or don't put the hands against a solid table where the person can see that, okay, this is still and their hands are shaking. Okay. Sometimes people say, I get a dry throat. Make sure you guys are well hydrated before you go for your interviews. Because I tell you, body language is along with your tone of voice, and if you're not well hydrated, your body is not going to work with your voice, and the output is not going to be the same, right? Shaking hands, go put it down. Shaking legs, again, sit in a way that it's not visible. Don't put a file or a folder, and don't put your hands on top of it, so that when your leg is shaking, your hand is also shaking. Try to avoid these things. And these things, I know, like Arvind was also saying, involuntary it starts. I agree with it. I've been a victim of that. But you have to make a conscious effort that, okay, when this situation comes, this is what happens to me. I need to overcome it. That's why I'm saying, have a habit of talking to random people. The more random people you start talking to, the more confident you will get to go in front of any interviewer and be confident about your work and talk about it. Okay. Now, stammering again happens because I feel it happens because you are not very well prepared, or you are not thinking before you're talking. A lot of time that will happen. But if you're calm and composed and then you start talking, all these things, you will see it is reduced quite a bit, right? Like I was telling to Ketiki, the thing she said, breathing heavily. So again, I have a lot of stories from my interviews. So when I gave the first interview, so I used to study in a place called College Station, and most of the jobs were in a place called Houston, which is about 1.5 hours away. Now I had never traveled to Houston before till I got this job interview, and I could not understand the way, and I got lost on the way to Houston in such a bad manner that I had to call the interviewer, say, I am not able to understand how to reach the office. Can someone assist me? And after half an hour, I was able to reach their office, and that's the time my interview started. Do you think I had the same confidence that I got that, okay, I know everything, I know how the questions are going to be, I'm technically very well prepared, my CADs are very good. Do you think I would have the same confidence walking into the interviewer room now? Absolutely not. I had lost it. If he asked something as simple as, basic stuff in my engineering, I was stammering and I was so confused because I'm like, oh my God, what are they thinking? They've already made up their mind. What kind of girl this is? She can't even figure out how to reach the office. Why should I hire? So in the back of the mind, only this thing was playing. They've already made a judgment about me because I can't reach their office. If I can't reach their office, why would they hire me? Okay. And what happened in my second interview? Didn't make the first mistake. I reached 1.5 hours before time and sat in the parking lot for 1 hour and sat inside the office for half an hour before my interview started. And because I was already sitting in that room, in that office, I saw people going in and out. I saw, how the body language was. how casual or how strict they were looking. The environment, you feel the environment. It gave me enough time to use the restroom, refresh and come, since I had driven about one and a half hour, and I was very feeling fresh and sat, and I was relaxed. I drank a cup of coffee and was sitting there. The second interview went fabulous. It was like a breeze. I was chit-chatting, I was confident. Whatever you asked me, even if I did not know, I was very confident about how I was talking, because I could easily understand the environment of the office, and that came in my body language. Okay, so that's another thing that we have to understand, that see, gestures are something that you can control, and how can you control it, or how can you make yourself more confident and get rid of all these problems, is by being in the venue well in advance of the time. Don't rush. If you rush, trust me, your gestures, your body language, all will be not in your control. Okay, body movements, you will be very nervous. Your behavior, like I said, in the back of my mind it was running that I'm not selected, I'm not selected. Emotions, again, you're nervous, it will not be very effective. And coming to emotions, whatever you are thinking, or however if you're confident, trust me, your voice reflects that confidence. And if you create the right facial expression, and when you're talking to someone, he or she will be sold on any idea that you're trying to tell him. Do you guys agree to it?
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
face gives away, right? I'm a trainer. When I ask someone, do you understand? And the person is sitting in front of me, even if they say yes, I can tell them, no, you did not. Just because the body is not giving the right signals of what the words you are trying to give. So you have to keep your emotions. If you, let's say, whatever pressure you felt, or I'm in dire need of the job, let's not show that emotion to the recruiter. The recruiter has to only feel one thing, that you're very passionate about the role that you have come here for, and you're passionate to join his or her company. That's it. Other than that, what is happening in my life, whether I'm nervous, this is my first interview, or has been a series of rejection and this is my only hope, these kind of emotions can't come on your face or in your talks. Now let's talk about dressing, the most important topic. What about room temperature? Sometimes I feel cold, but the others are normal in that temperature. Should I tell them to adjust? No, you can't. Good question, Arvind. So, these are the things that, let's say if you're going to bigger organizations, like where there is central cooling and heating system, there always this thing is going to be there, that I am going to feel cold, right? So probably if you already know, okay, if I'm going to go to, let's say, Capgemini for a meeting, let me wear a jacket and go. A light summer jacket I can wear right now. And if it's winter, you're already wearing a jacket anyways. So carry something that if you enter the office and you say, oh, this is cold for me, carry a jacket, please wear a jacket. But you really can't tell them to adjust the temperature for you, because there are again 50, 100, 200 people sitting in that particular temperature. You forget about interviews. When you are working also, you can't tell them to adjust the temperature. Okay. So forget about interviews. You are in no right to tell them the temperature is too cold or too hot for you. All right. Now, you'll be surprised. I do get calls where people ask me, can I wear a jeans and go? What do you think is my answer? Can I wear jeans and go?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
If you wear jeans and go, what does it tell you, tell the interviewer about you?
Not serious.
Yeah.
Not professional.
Too casual. Remember we said that, oh, that person, the woman, she looked like she was on the phone having a cup of coffee, and she walked in, she had gone to a shopping mall, and in between she came for an interview. So no, definitely no, you can't wear a jeans to your interviews. What about your sneakers or the sports shoes? Can I wear those?
No, ma'am.
You all are saying no, but trust me, I get questions like that on daily basis.
I have
So
a
no.
question.
Yes, Arvind.
see, means in technical like coding companies where people code or do development side. So I have seen like they are very casual in the dressing part, like and the more they are casual, it feels like the more they are super cool and super dude type, because they're not in the consultancy businesses like they have to meet client always and speak
Correct.
or sell something and all. But because they are they have to sit in front of laptop and code and develop and meet and younger generation mostly, because they are more passionate about coding and all. And I have also seen in my company in the interview floor, I have seen that many people come casual only, and I don't feel like almost like no only like almost 0% I have seen like people who have dressed very well for an coding interview. I've seen like
Yeah.
they are mostly casual, and it also gives a cool impression, like yes, he's in our generation or like that.
Oh
He's from
my
our
God.
generation.
I'm not giving you cool impressions today, Arvind.
No, no, like I was just telling, like in
I
company, I have
understand
seen,
your
but
thought process. Okay, the simple thing is we we have to have you have to have enough research work done about the company that you're going for. Okay, let's say if I am going to go for a company like you are describing, where people are little casually dressed in sneakers and t-shirts. Probably if you go to Yahoo's campus in US, you will see people in shorts and chappals and moving around and they're comfortable. If you go to Google, you will not see everyone. People are playing basketball and volleyball and dressed up as anything, because what these companies are trying to drive is that we give you all the comfort and freedom, but you have to be creative. You are in technology field, right? Now, if I'm going to such interviews, do you think I can dress down and go? I cannot. I've done training for such institutes, and I as a trainer also, I can't dress down and go. Why? Because I have to show myself as a person at a higher level. Okay, if I want to enter bigger companies, even whatever their dress code may be, probably I might not need a tie. Okay, I might not wear a jacket because I might look like a fool, because people might think, okay, where is this guy coming from? All of us are so casual. Look at this guy who's decked up. But I still need to wear a formal shirt. I still need to wear pants, and I still need to wear my proper shoes. I might dress down by not wearing a tie. I might dress down by not wearing a jacket, but I can't dress down to that level. Okay. And another thing, when I used to train in all these corporates, now with the COVID, everything is pretty much online. On Fridays, dress casual. Anybody who's in IT kind of company, you would know that it's Fridays casual dress. And I was shocked to see that on Friday, does the manager disappear that they are dressed up in weird fluorescent colors and weird shoes, and I don't know where the set of clothes come out from. And that's what I used to tell them also. Do you think your clients won't visit, or let's say internal clients won't visit on Friday, or your managers have disappeared somewhere? Because every now and then, even when you are trying to get promotions in your organization, all these things will get counted. So I am not a believer that, okay, if the other people are wearing very casual and sneakers and coming to office, I should do that. I'm going to maintain my dressing sense. I might not overdo it, but yes, I'm not going to underdo. So go for casual formals. That's what we call. Probably wear a polo t-shirt and khakis rather than a pant. But you can't dress down. If you are aiming to become a manager, we say you have to become a manager. Fridays for casual, even for managers are wearing, but Shilpi, they are not wearing casual like the way I have seen junior team members wearing, where they have no sense of color also. They would wear probably a polo t-shirt or a round neck t-shirt and khakis, but they won't dress down with the torn jeans and orange or a red color bright t-shirt. That is absolutely no. It doesn't have to be that you're entering an office and the next thing I'll find you is in a club. It can't look like that. And trust me, I've seen this. And I was shocked to see that, okay, even we had Fridays, casual Fridays, but we don't dress down to that extent that it doesn't look like I'm going to office even. Azim is saying even people who are good at technical knowledge lose confidence because they are not fluent in English. I know, and I assume there are a lot of people. Only thing is that you see, it's not that anybody who is entering into this industry, or right now with the age group that you all belong to, I don't think so. The problem is that you guys don't know English. You all know English. It's a matter of application. If I'm someone who is talking in English frequently, my English would be good. I will be confident in talking. And if I'm confident in talking, I'm confident in conveying my idea also. But if I'm a person who's not using English as my, day-to-day language, English is infrequently, very rarely used in my life. And when I have to express myself in that language, I am going to have trouble with it. So the only way out is practice, 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 nothing else. Force yourself to talk to everyone in English, irrespective the person is giving you answer in the mother tongue. And this again happens a lot in a lot of bigger organizations who are driving people to speak English, but even the managers I've seen, they're not pushing guys. They say, oh, we don't feel connected. They don't feel connected if we don't talk in the mother tongue. So it's up to you. See, it's your growth, it's your personal growth. So you have to force yourself. I'll talk in English, let the other person reply to me in Hindi or Bengali or Marathi or Telugu. It doesn't matter. I will speak to the person in English. That's the only way to get rid of it. So what I did with my firstborn, I'm not experimenting on my second child, but with my first child, me and my husband completely refrained ourselves from using Hindi language with her. Completely refrained. And it is so done that English is her mother tongue and Hindi she doesn't know very well. Just because in the home we used English with her, in the office we used English with her, in any kind of conversation, English books, English TV, English songs, everything English. No regional language was introduced to her. So when she has to talk, when she's angry, she wants to express herself, she can only use English language. And her teachers were amazed that how come at this age her English is so good. Till now she reads the book, she's 8-year-old, but she can read easily books which are like for 12 or 13-year-old. Reeti has seen my child. So her Hindi is not great, but yes, English we had inculcated this thing right in the beginning for her. Second one is more like he does whatever he feels like. Okay, let's come back over here. So wearing tennis shoes, not allowed. Jeans, cargo pants, style pants, not allowed. T-shirts, especially the round necks, not allowed. If you're going for a company like Arvind was talking about, where I know there's a casual dressing, probably at least a collar t-shirt I need to wear and go. But I would say even don't do that for interview. Once you get into the company, then you do. But for interview, wear a shirt and a pant. Jewelry, men typically don't wear, but again, tell me, I know a lot of people wear rings. My mom also made me wear a lot of rings before I got married. When I see someone wearing rings, what kind of impression do you get? If you see, all the 4 fingers filled with rings, or 3 fingers out of 4 filled with rings, what is going on in your Indian? Why are you after Indian, Arvind? Superstitious. Okay, person who believes that if I do this, this will happen. If I do this, this will happen. Little underconfidence. It shows in that person. Okay. So even
but
yes, Arvind.
ma'am, but it may be superstitious, but people who know the science, suppose by people who have done enough research on it, and they understand why they do what they do. Yeah, and not only that, even astrology is a science. So how can we say that it is superstitious? Like we cannot like.
But
always...
you are depending on a stone to create a miracle of who you are.
Actually, that's a science. Like the stones are kept so that when the sunlight falls on it, so there is a change in the body aura and the body conditions. So things happen like that. Like
I think it's all in the mind. See, if this was true, even if it was true science, I don't want to disrespect anything because my mom made me wear them. I believe, somehow even I was feeling that yes, it is helping me. But if these things were so true, don't you think everybody in the world would adopt it?
Yeah, but there is always genuinely
things that we feel. Huh?
there are things which are genuine and fake. Suppose there is a note in the market which is genuine 100 rupees note and also fake 100 rupees note. Now just because
Yeah.
someone has a fake 100 rupees note, they cannot say that the whole currency is wrong or the whole currency is fake.
No,
So
but they're
first
smart
thing
enough to
is,
discard the fake currency, right?
yeah. First thing is that it is very rare. These things are stones are rare, and second thing is that the signs should be also be the person who is suggesting, he should be also very authorized and he should be well educated.
Yeah, so I'm not promoting wearing rings in this class anyways. What I was trying to tell is, even if you're wearing it for whatever reasons, like me, whose parents were forcing wear a ring, this will happen and that will happen, or do you genuinely believe in it? And like I said, I don't want to discredit anybody's thoughts around this, because I also believe in certain things which I know is stupid, but I have a belief in it and I carry on that belief with me. So what I just want to know is, from the other person point of view, when you're going for an interview, all I want you to do is remove those rings for that particular period of time. Other than that, you wear it, it doesn't matter. It's just you don't want to leave anything that will, any thing that will make a wrong impression about you to the other person, right? So printed ties with the striped ties, try to don't go with anything which is printed or patterns. All you have to do is make sure you wear plain. And before entering into this workshop, I was not wearing a plain shirt. I was wearing something printed, so I had to make sure I go and change before I preach to you guys that for an interview, don't do this and don't do that. I had to change it myself. For women, I also fall in this category that I used to love wearing open toe shoes. I always used to feel more relaxed in it. But this is actually not a formal shoe wear. Formal shoes, whether it's India or it's abroad, doesn't matter. It's closed toe. Your toes should not be visible. Something that everybody in India, I don't see they do it. Your prints cannot be of any institute. You are not promoting IIT or MIT or anything. When you're going for interview, you're promoting yourself. So no logos, nothing. No Versace, no Prada, nothing. Formal shirt works with a pair of jeans, no jeans. Jeans are strict no, whether it's a woman or a man. Jeans cannot. Jeans is a symbol of being casual. So it has to be formal shirt and a formal trousers or a formal skirt, and the skirt has to be below the knees. And or in India, since we are Indians, we wear saris and suits. But taking a dupatta along with the suit is definitely not required. But if the suit is such that yes, the dupatta enhances the wear, then please do that. Okay. No low cuts, see-throughs, not required. Whether it's male or a female, you have to make sure that you are ironing your clothes before you wear it. And the most important thing for women, just like for men, I said it's the rings. For women, I think some of us go excessive on the jewelry. I am a very minimalistic person in terms of jewelry in any case, whether it's interview or no interview. But you have to make sure that, when you are talking, the person has to only concentrate till this part of your body. Anything that when you're moving your hand for explaining, or you're dangling earrings when you're moving your head, those cannot be the point of interest for the person. He cannot be distracted by that. So no hanging earrings for women, no what do you call bangles which make noise while you're talking, no payal. Some of the women do wear payal when they're walking, the whole noise comes. Nothing like that can be there. Okay, so very limited jewelry is what I would promote. So dressing right, least recommended. You see, this guy is not dressed badly. If you look at the guy on the left, do you think he's badly dressed? Not at all badly dressed, but for interview, not great. So here you see the person is wearing only tie, the third person, the short one, he's only wearing a tie, but dressed properly. The next person, he's wearing a jacket, not a tie. Okay. Then this has become like the last one is the proper business suits that you have. Now, if you're a fresher, it's not recommended that you go with a full business suit and enter into an interview. So you just have to make sure at least, you're wearing a tie or a shirt and a trousers if it's summers, and if it's winter, please do wear a jacket and go. Please invest in a good jacket and a good tie for the interviews. It is mandatory. A lot of time I get this answer that it's too hot. So I'm not asking you to wear the tie right from your home and then entering into the interview room. Keep the tie in your bag as soon as you're able, entering the office, not the room. Entering the office, make sure outside you wear the tie and enter. Go there much before time so that you freshen up. And we live in a hot and a humid country. If I see that my shirt or my blouse is little more, sweaty, it's smelling, or it's got some, patches on it because of the sweat, then always keep a spare in your bag to change it over there. So, but you need to have that much time to do all this thing. Go freshen up, comb your hair again, because if you're using public transport and reaching, it's not in your control. Somebody spills something on you, it's not in your control to do it, and you have no way to explain to the other guy why your shirt is stained. So always keep an extra pair in your bag. Always make sure you have a comb, you have a deodorant. Always, till date, I always carry a small perfume in my bag. Anytime I'm going for a meeting, I make sure I put the perfume and then enter it. Let's look for the women. Again, like you were asking, formal shirt and a jeans, not recommended. Even top with the jeans, definitely not recommended. Something like this attire or something with a jacket. Women has, as a woman, you can wear nice summer jackets are there. That is okay. Even if you're wearing a proper top and a black trousers, that also works. So again, some do's and don'ts. Plain shirts, yes. Printed shirts, absolutely not. Pastel colors, yes. Bright colors, absolutely not. Okay. Why do you think printed is so banned? Why do you think, like we were talking about logos or the prints, why is it so bad to wear prints? It's distraction, exactly. And do you want the person to be distracted to what you're wearing, or do you want him to focus on your talks? You want a person to focus on your talks and nothing else around it. Okay, so you have to make sure that you wear pastel colors, plain shirts, whether it's male or it's female. No prints, no fancy designing should be there, that the person is focusing on your fashion sense more than what you know technically. Right? Invest in a good tie. Tie again has to be very simple. It can be plain tie, it can be striped, but nothing more than that. No prints, no birds flying, no kind of animals on it, nothing. No fancy stuff over here. No jackets like the one that you see, leather jackets are allowed, even if it's a black color or a brown color. It has to be a formal jacket that you wear. For women, no stylish dressing, even though I know in India we don't do like that. Even in this case, even when you're wearing top, I might sound a little awkward to you women, but even if we are wearing tops, we have to make sure that, okay, without sleeves, not a good idea. Short tops, so that if you're bending somewhere, it's not enough, not a good idea. No slits. If you're wearing a skirt, no slits. Safest is wear a trouser, wear a full sleeve shirts. That's the safest. Black is a safe color, definitely. Black color shirts are safe, not a problem at all. But again, don't be completely black and walk into someone's office also, right? Don't wear black throughout. So where like when I was going for interviews, I had this light blue shirt, I had a light blue, light pink color shirt, and a creamish off-white shirt. So these were my 3 shirts that I wore to all the interviews, and black trousers and black shoes, standard. All right. Again, these things you already know what to wear, what not to wear, and shoes. Like this is what I meant, women on the left side, closed toe shoes, please. Even if you wear heels, that's not a problem. No sneakers, no flip-flops, no fancy pumps is what you call them. And for men, it has to be leather shoes in which you invest, and polished, neat and clean. It cannot be dirty. If it became dirty because the way we came from our home to this place, make sure we have some wet wipes or something to wipe it off before we enter. All these things make a first impression to you. Personal hygiene is super important. I have had students who had boys who had long hair or who did not look like they had taken shower. Do you think it's a good thing? Not only for the interview, for just in general, it's a good thing. It's not a good thing. right? So when you're entering into the interview, make sure you are showered well, you spend some time on your hair, you brushed well. Ladies, put some makeup on, and like I said, give yourself enough time to reach a restroom, redo the makeup, or for men, just put some water on the face and look fresh. It's very important. When it comes to hairstyles, a lot of guys have started keeping long hairs. I would not advise it. If you want a job, get them cut. Arvind, no. I've seen your long hairs. No. Hair has to be short, neat, and clean. They cannot be long hair like you're going for a concert or something. See, all these things, I know in your generation, you tell it that it looks cool. This is how the generation is. But to be honest, this is no sign of coolness is there. Eventually, you all have to grow up and do our work, right? So even though your current company might have that kind of environment where this is okay, but when you're going through a job interview, you have to make sure your hair is done properly. Even for women, sometimes we make a bun and then move around. For interviews, you can't. You have to spend enough time making sure your hairstyle is proper, have a proper haircut, something that is not too fancy, not too having fancy hairstyle, but a basic one. Something like this for boys. Girls also spend some time on your hair. This is correct. Long hair, Arvind, even though he's Brad Pitt, still not allowed for interviews. It has to be neat and clean, properly cut, short hair. And a lot of people have colors also these days. Again, colors. What do you think about it? If I have my colored hair, good or bad?
And doesn't work out in India, at least.
Looks weird. Not healthy even. Colored hair again. If you go for those, I had someone working in my team. Mehendi and all is different, but it depends on color. I'll go with Somashish because if you do like something that blends in your hair, like a natural tone, then it looks fine. But if you try to become like green, I had someone working in my team. She had a small portion of her hair dyed red, like really red. Trust me, the whole time I met her, that was my first piece of information, advice to her. I like, get it cut. It doesn't look nice. I don't want you meeting people at Ivy with this kind of hair color. Get it cut. So I made sure she got it cut. So you have to have a sense of what color is acceptable. Going for greens and violets and blues and purples and reds, not advisable. Money wasted, I don't know. There's good in fashion sense, but when you're talking about when you're talking about business, when you're talking about that environment that you're walking into a company, and we all want to work for bigger, larger organizations, then you have to make sure that people from other countries would be coming, people from other companies would be coming, and whatever I am giving an impression to that person, that is what he's thinking about the work environment, right? So make sure you don't have those colors. Long hair, I used to make it short. So interviews, you need a short hair. Now, while you're working, if your hair grows and your manager doesn't have a problem with it, that's fine. But for interviews, make it short. So these kind of colors, not good. I'm not saying you guys would have it, but I've seen people having it. Usage of colognes and perfumes and scented lotions is something that I'm not seeing too much in India. Somehow people feel it's not good for your skin. Don't put it on your skin, put it on your shirt, put it on your clothes. It's important. Imagine somebody walks into a room who is not smelling good. What is going to be your reaction? You can't tell the person you're not smelling good, but as soon as the person entered, the smell changed. What will you tell? You are going to try and end that meeting ASAP because you want to get out of that room and smell fresh air. Yes or no? So if you don't smell good, that is going to be a trouble because the person is just going to ask you 2-3 questions and end the interview, not even going to care whether you know things or not. So that's the reason I'm telling you nowadays such nice pocket, deos are coming. I have a small perfume that I keep. Quickly put it on my shirt, put it on my, wrist, just so that it's not overwhelming to the person who's sitting and he's like, oh my God, she's put a lot of perfume, but to the sense that, okay, please remember we are in a hot and humid country. I'm especially sitting in a very hot and humid part of the country. So I need to smell good. So that much only fragrance or, cologne you need to put. So make sure we do that. Makeup. How many people don't think makeup is important? In the girls, boys don't answer this question, okay? Men don't need to answer this question. Women, how many of you do not believe in makeup? Natural skin, natural beauty. I was dragged by my mother. I don't know makeup, trust me, brother. I didn't like makeup, only kajal. Okay. Natural beauty. Like I said, men are not allowed to participate in this. Lipstick. Okay. Now here's the thing. I also never believed in makeup. My mother dragged me in masters when I was in US. She dragged me and she's like, you have to learn how to put basic makeup. Don't go loud, but you have to put. I'm a kind of person who does not, indulge myself. But I now, courtesy her, I do have a habit of putting a light foundation, very basic lipstick and a little blush, nothing more than that. And that just enhances your personality. It doesn't take away from it. Don't go for like a bright red, a mascara and all those things. No, not required. You're not going for a party and put, eyeshadow and all, but a basic foundation you should invest in, a blush and a lipstick. That is, I think, a must. If you put kajal, go for kajal. Okay. This is, I think, basic, which gives you a good impression. When a person, see, basic thing is when a person enters into a room, I should feel good about looking that person. It should not be like, oh my God, this person has just woken up, taken shower and come over here. You understand? So please, ladies, I know I was again in the same boat like you guys, where I did not feel that, like, I was like, why should I put it? But then it plays a very important role in our looks, and you will be surprised. Like I told you, when I was working in my last organization, only female working, all males. So one day I got half an hour late to my office and my boss was like, you live so close by, why are you late? And I told him that I was ironing my hair because I have to go for a client meeting. And he said, Eeshani, take this half an hour extra every day, but iron your hair and come, because that makes you more presentable. Coming that from a male boss, like, oh my God, do I look that bad without it? And secondly, he said, like, I don't put nail paints. I don't have long nails, but I had put nail paint for some occasion and then it got chipped. He noticed that. So imagine, people do notice all these things which we don't find very important. So make sure either you put your nail paint for the interviews or completely remove it and go. But don't have that half chipped or nail arts on it. Okay, I know this might sound very girlish to the boys, but important stuff because I'm talking to both genders. Nails should be cut. I have seen males having one nail long or long nails for boys also, and dirty nails. Trust me, when we make a handshake, all these things get noticed. When you're talking, these things get noticed, and it gives a very bad impression of your personal hygiene. So take time out, cut your nails. For women, you can have long nails, but make sure they're properly manicured. Nail paint, if it's there, make sure it's proper. Otherwise, remove it just like I do, because I don't get time to do it. All right. And again, jewelry, be simplistic in that, kind of what you're wearing. I think we've spoken about it. Tattoos. What do you feel about tattoos? A lot of people have tattoos. I know that is another thing that we call cool. See, Arvind, I knew. Tattoos, again, it's a personal choice. So I'm not going to say it's bad or it's good. I don't believe in it. But hide them. They should not be visible at your workplace. They are not meant for workplace. Scared to get tattoo. That is, again, personal choice. So I'm not saying something is wrong. What I'm saying is what is appropriate for interviews, what is appropriate for business is what I'm here to talk about. So I had another story. I had one person working in my office. She was a secretary and she must be close to 55. And she had tattoos which nobody knew in my office, neither did I. She had tattooed right starting from her neck, all arms. She and her husband were in Harley Davidson riding group. And when she came to office, she was always high necked and full sleeves. Never seen her in anything more than high neck and a full sleeves. And she was wearing a skirt or a trousers and all. So one weekend I saw her at one coffee shop with her husband and all the rest of the gang. She was in Harley Davidson. She was a biker. And that time she was wearing her sleeveless top. And then the first time I saw a 55-year-old woman having so many tattoos, it literally covered her skin. I could not imagine that. And I was shocked. But at work, if you have not met her personally at that day, nobody could sense she has tattoos on. So tattoos again is something that you may have it. It's your personal choice, but make sure at workplace, at interviews, it is not visible. And the last thing, when you're going for an interview, what all do you need to carry? You need to carry a proper folder. You might not carry this fancy bag like I've showed over here, but a proper folder has to be there. No backpacks, please. You look like you're going to go to school and not for an interview. A purse, proper purse, again, something, not a purse which is filled with so many things that it's going to come out. Nothing like that should be there. Always carry a purse. Always carry a resume. Very important. Always carry a copy of your resume, whether you've emailed them, not emailed them, doesn't matter. Let's say, I always ask when a person comes for an interview, I always ask, do you have a resume? Can I see it? So I have a habit of asking for resumes. So you should have a resume copy handy. Okay, so choose the right color. Prefer solids over patterns. Keep it very simple. Know the office culture, what Arvind and I was talking about. If I know I'm going in a place where a senior manager is going to be, laptop bag is okay, but it cannot be the one on the shoulder, Mridul. Laptop bag, the shoulder bag, absolutely no. The one which is what you call this, what is the other name that you get? The one which is long, like you take it on your shoulders, but not like a backpack. That laptop bag is not okay, but the ones that you take on your shoulder, that's fine. Again, the right type of color, right type of material has to be there of that bag. It cannot look very casual, like you will go to office or you will go to college, nobody knows it. Know the office culture, dress accordingly, whether you should wear a tie, no tie, whether you should wear a jacket or no jacket. If you're having interview with anybody who's senior, dress up. Nothing will kill you if you dress up, but if you dress down, that creates a wrong impression. Okay, what happened? I want to go back. All right. Women attire, you can have black, navy, dark gray, pastels, coordinated blouse, conservative shoes, limited jewelry, nothing dangling from the ears or your wrist. Good hairstyle and makeup and perfume. Leather bag for women, leather or no leather, I don't think so they can make it out. But yes, what do you call, it has to be, again, neutral. Don't pick a bright red bag or an orange bag or something which has a lot of, outside decorations on top of it. Anything which is blingy, don't carry that one. This, I think we've already spoken about. So I'm not going to take over it again. Now, this video interview, I thought of including this in my workshop today. This is the first time I'm talking about video interviews, and the reason I'm talking is because of COVID. A lot of you are going through the interviews, telephones are there, but definitely whenever they want to do the final offer, before that, they definitely take a video interview for you, right? So just let's go through this a little bit. Few tips. What should you use, computer or phone? Computer. Why not phone? Why not phone? Laptop, computer, same thing. Something which is in front of you and you don't have to hold it. Better posture, easy. Those are small, you have to handle it, right? It is not very stable. Very good. So use your computers or laptops, in desktops or laptops instead of phone. always stack your computer on top of few books. That's what I've done today also. And trust me, what happens is, because right now when I'm looking straight and I'm looking at the camera while I'm talking. So when you look at my video, it looks like, yes, I'm sitting in front of you and talking. Now see, if I remove this thing underneath my laptop, and now, does it give you the same quality of eye-to-eye contact? Because now I'm looking down and I'm not looking straight. Did it make a difference? It did, right? So make sure, see, I have this box, not kidding, huh? I have this box and I'm keeping my laptop over here so that it gives me a better eye-to-eye contact, just like how I would have a person sitting in front of me. Okay? Eye level, that gets adjusted. Set your phone to do not disturb. The phone should be the switched off completely. Why I use 20 monitor and I've connected, that is why external webcam. That is good. Phones, big distraction. I would say never put your phone next to you, because human habit to go and look at your phone. Anything comes up, the message, the call, you have the habit of looking there, and that kind of shows your disinterest towards the interviewer. Okay, so avoid it. Even your computer, it has to be disabled also of the notifications that keep coming, because you sometimes share your screen, or even if you're not sharing the screen, you are distracted from where you should be looking at. So try to disable all the notification. Have a backup technology. What I mean by that is, let's say I have a computer, it's working fine right now, everything is right, the internet is working. What if something goes wrong? Always have a backup ready, that okay, if this computer shuts down, this internet doesn't work, what is my backup? Because sometimes I've seen people losing their um, chance over all these technology glitches. So make sure you have backup, you have another laptop, or if your brother, sister, parents, or a friend, and you have another internet, borrow it from someone, or make sure you know how to connect your phone with the internet, so that you don't lose on internet. If the quality is not fine, if they're saying no, it's not clear, then you have an alternate present. And always try to rehearse your equipment well. Second thing is, something that I also do when let's say I'm taking a workshop over here, sitting in my home, I have made sure that nobody else is streaming any kind of videos in my house. Even though I know in the internet is very stable, nothing will happen, still don't take a risk of slowing it down, because when you're doing a video conferencing with the interviewer, the bandwidth has to be enough for the videos to also go correctly. Okay, so make sure the internet usage is minimum. Turn off the screensaver mode, just in case you are using your screen for if you're doing screen sharing, once you explain something on your laptop and now you just having conversation, suddenly an awkward screensaver comes in. So disable those also, because you're not actively using your laptop, so screensavers would come. Now, what about the background? And this again, I have my first experience when I was taking some interviews of some of the students. The background was so cluttered, white or not white, I think that is not in my hand. For example, I do have a plain white wall. It's not white exactly, but I have a plain wall in my house. If I go to my other room, I have a red wall. Okay. So, but you have to make sure that it is nothing which can be distracting. Like I cannot have a cupboard behind me or a showcase rather, not a cupboard, a showcase, or I should not have a door behind me where people are going in and out. So I have to control my background a lot, right? It has to be as plain as possible. And when you dress, you have to dress as per your background. Now, if I am sitting against this white background, I should not be wearing very light colors, because then I blend in with my walls. So I have to make sure I wear some, contrasting colors along with my background. But we can have digital background, may or may not be. You can, but may or may not be. And why? This is who you are. This is where you are. Until unless there's a problem. I have had corporate interviews happening, where what these guys did. So I was, interviewing some of the people in which probably they did not have a white background or a person or a place where there's a less distracting. So what these guys smartly were told to do was to put a white bed sheet across behind them, so that it doesn't look that bad. Zoom meetings and all I can understand, but you know, if you have seen those Zoom meetings with artificial backgrounds, a person saying when you move a lot, that becomes little distorted. I don't know if you have noticed this or not, but that's the number one reason I would tell you not to put a digital background behind you. Try to sit in a place, it may be a small nook and corner. It doesn't have to be a big area. Okay, small place, but it's less distractive. Make sure there's enough light in the room. It's not that the person is not able to see your room, see your face. It has to have enough light. Avoid clothing pattern or color as the background. Use earphones to make sure that you're not asking the person to repeat again and again. What? I didn't hear you. Can you repeat again? Or you're sitting like this next to your laptop, which I do sometimes when I'm taking classes, because I can't hear. And then immediately I have to tell that I need an earphone so that I can hear better. Keep a water bottle with you, because as and when you talk a lot, your throat gets very dry, and as soon as the throat gets dry, my body language, my voice, everything will tend to become little less than what I started off with. This is, I think, very, very important. I know it's not a part of your dressing or body language, this whole set of slide, but I thought, you know, since all of us are in this era right now, video conferencing software. I was very embarrassed when my few set of students from Ivy only were going through a video round with a company, and water bottles can we carry in face-to-face interview? Yes, you can, Arvind, but when you're going to take it out and drink water, it's good to ask for a permission and then do it. Okay, but yes, you can carry. So this video conferencing software, the feedback that I got was not technical. The feedback that I got was, Eeshani, you got to make your students understand how to use WebEx or how to use Zoom. They don't know how to mute, they don't know how to share. So that is one other thing. Whenever the companies are sending you a link, let's say it's My Teams or it's Zoom or it's WebEx, you know, those are the most popular one. You can always download these softwares as trials, even though you've not bought it, and do a trial with your friends or family where you understand how to mute, how to unmute, how to turn on the video, where is the chat, how do I write in it, if I have to do screen sharing, where is the button for that. Without that, please don't enter into these video conferences. It looks bad that in this era of technology, you don't know how to use these things. So please make sure you download it a day ahead, and you've downloaded so that on the day that you're going to use it, it is already there. So there's no glitch in the softwares, and you know it very well how to use it, right? Another thing that I found that sometimes, you know, we have those fans, tall fans or the table fans, and we have kept it so close to the mic that all I can hear is the fan, the noise of the fan, continuously the noise of the fan. Then you have to make adjustment to place it a little further away from you so that the noise at least does not enter into the, it's not like a background noise that I'm continuously hearing. So these kind of things, please take care of, okay? Always try a dry run on your video conferencing software. Another thing, since it's a video conference, you have the liberty of, or whatever opportunity you get, try to keep all your projects open and ready on your computers or laptop. Whenever you get an opportunity, it's not that you have to, you know, force them to see, but offer that, you know, I did this thing, would you like to see it? I have it open, and try to share your screen and show your work. That adds a lot of value to what you're saying about yourself, and you've already done it. So I would say have the projects also ready. Practice looking at the camera, very tough. You might think it's very easy. It's very tough to look at that green dot in front of my eyes and talk. It is not that easy. Project face-to-face interview would be some printed copies, Kaushik, that you would take. And if you're taking printed copies, try to, if it's like, for example, it's a visualization thing, try to take colored copies. Or if it's a business presentation that you've created, it could be colored, or it could be black and white. But take it on a thicker paper, like a bond paper, and make it like a proper, what do you call, either nice folders in which you keep them, or it cannot be like a stapled piece of paper that you pass it on to someone, or you know how you have the spiral bounce. So you can keep 4-5 projects ready with the proper you know, cover pages on top of it, and keep that whole thing ready in front of you.
Or a stick
And
file?
stick file is also fine, that is fine, but have a proper cover pages. Let's say if I'm
Okay.
putting, I can't have, like if I'm going to take 4 projects, let's not have 4 stick files, like I have one with proper cover pages in it, and invest on paper. Don't put it on A4 paper and send it across, or don't carry it
Okay.
with A4 size paper. Okay, put it in a
But
bond paper.
but in a face-to-face interview, we cannot take our laptop and show them the project, right?
You may carry your laptop, and if they permit, yes, you can.
Okay.
Okay. If I was interviewing someone and someone wants to show the project, I'll be enthusiastic to look at it. But again, it would depend from person to person. So it's
Okay.
better to carry both. Okay. Do smile and do look energetic. A lot of people come and give and talk in such a way that it might not even feel like you're enthusiastic about this job. You're so tired and you come over here, then I probably as an interviewer would not be interested in talking to you. Yes or no? Your tone of voice is also very, very important. What about light? Where do you want the light? The light has to be such that the face is clear. Can we use rim light on face? You can, but again, it should not be that you're shining brightly. Always do a practice of all these video conferences with your friends, with your family, and I'm there. Make me your friend. I'll practice with you. Okay. This is something that I got off net. Tell me about yourself, and I found it very interesting. This question is pretty much the first question that people ask. Yes or no? Tell me about yourself. And a simple use of this question is just to do ice breaking. But how do you use? I just you know, was going through some material, you know, to share something new. Then I started working on the video thing. Then I, you know, somehow came across this thing, tell me about yourself worksheet, which I thought it's interesting. Because otherwise we say everything that is on our resume, just like you know, from A to Z, everything. I was born here, I did this is my education, this is what I did. So I found this interesting. Like part 1, so this says that divide your talk into 3 parts. Part 1, only 1 sentence, which is going to be introduce yourself professionally, to tell, okay, what is your current role, or who you want to be, or what kind of professional you want to be. Okay, like an example has been given here. I have been in renewable energy industry for 7 years. I am currently customer success manager at ABC company. A small one-liner introduction of what currently you are doing. In the second thing, they say talk about 2 to 4 points about how your highlight reel, like what is about you that a person may be interested in, depending on the job role that you are applying. So make standout statements about the role you're interviewing for, or emphasis on the recent accomplishment, something that would be making him interesting to talk to you more. So like example is, I was promoted within 2 years. Second is built ticket management process from scratch. So it depends on whether I'm going for a role where this process from scratch makes a difference or not. Experience both in high volume requests and provided high touch support to power users. So think about these kind of sentences ahead of time. What will impress my interviewer of what I've done? Okay. If you're a fresher, again, you have to think in terms of your projects that you've done, or the technology that you have done, or any hackathons, or any kind of, you know, what do you call, competitions that you have been, and you want to tell about that. If you are on top of your class, you want to talk about that. And the third part, why you are here, to give a proper importance to the company also, to make them feel that, yes, I want this job because I want to work for this company because I like this role. So about 1 to 2 sentences, why you're attracted toward the company and attracted towards the role. If you don't read upon the company, you will not be able to answer the third part. So, you know, I like this thing. I really like this thing, because if someone came and spoke to me like this, it would really impress me to say, okay, yeah, I would want to know more about you. So giving keywords to interviewers to stretch the conversation, is it good? So you can't give keywords, but you have to start with smaller sentences. For example, let's say you're working on a project, okay, a technical project, and there you found, let's say I worked on, like right now people at Ivy are doing these internship on London cycle hires, okay. So I did a data visualization project using advanced Excel on this thing, and I found very interesting insights. And you might just stop over there. Then, depending on his reaction, that on his body language, that is he looking for more information, then you may say that, okay, what are the insights you have? Or he may just ask himself, so it was interesting. So what was so interesting about it? How much data set he had? But then you have to be very good in understanding or remembering your data. You can't say, oh, I did it 2 months back, now I don't remember what was there. You should know, if you're going to talk about some project in your interview, you should know all the headers that were involved, all the important variables that were there, what kind of data set, how much data set was there. All these things you should remember by heart. Either don't say it was your favorite project, or know in and out of that particular project. Why are you here relevant to tell me about yourself? Because if Arvind, let's say you go to HSBC, okay, now why have you come to HSBC for an interview? Isn't that important, that why you have selected HSBC or HSBC has selected you, that is there, but why also you gave your resume to HSBC to select you? Why HSBC? There are so many companies. Why HSBC? Don't you think it's important?
Yes, but he or she asks about, tell me about yourself. So I'll expect that I will talk about my personal life, my like, dislike, and my
Like
works.
what? What would you like to talk about in your personal life?
Yeah, first two part is understandable, like yeah, you who you are and your highlights. But the third one, why you are here, it goes little off track. Like tell
It
me about
doesn't go off track. See, this is kind of your this is your introduction. This is the part where we are talking about the first impression, where he will be impressed if you include. Okay, and another way of explaining it to you, Arvind. For example, we make friends, right? Some people, say if I have a class of 40 people, I might be friends with 5 or 10 people. I might not be friends with others. How do we decide who we make friends with?
the same mentality or the kind of thinking we said.
Same
With
mentality, same kind of interest,
people
right?
with whom the frequency matches.
Frequency. How does frequency match? Because you have similar interest, or you are interested in the same things, right? Hobbies are the same, things like that. So when you're talking about their company, it's an automatic connect with them. I want to, why I want to work with HSBC, because this has been, let's say, my dream company, or I have friends working over here, and the kind of work that we do, that you guys are doing over here, that makes me very interested to be a part of HSBC team. As soon as you strike a conversation like them, you have a common point. What is that? HSBC. So to create that rapport, to create that connection, the last point is important. And also to tell them that you're very well prepared to know what the company does and why you are here, what is the role. Otherwise, a lot of people who have no idea about what the company does, has no idea about the JD of the company, and they're sitting for the interview. These guys are spoken like 3 or 4 questions and chucked down, and never even second thought is also not given to such kind of candidates. So to create an instant connect, this is an important part. Okay, if imagine someone comes to me and say, oh, I came here and I read upon Ivy, and I know you are in top 10 data science institute since a long time. Don't you think I'll feel very good? Oh, this guy likes Ivy. This person respects Ivy. I will instantly grow a liking towards this person. Versus somebody says, I have never heard about Ivy, but I came. Instantly cross mark on his resume and out. So this just gives you an opportunity, a first opportunity to create that connect without the person having asked questions that will prompt him that you've read upon the company.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, I had a situation like one of my senior was sharing a situation with me. Like he just graduated from IIM. So one of his interview in some consultancy company. So when he was asked that, tell me about yourself. So just in few seconds he started, and the interviewer abruptly stopped him and said, "What are you talking and why are you talking?" So he was telling me that there are some rounds, or there are sometimes they want to see stress, there are
Yeah,
people who are
absolutely.
give you stress,
Yeah,
and they don't
absolutely.
want you to answer. Then what to do? Like he didn't crack it, obviously. So I was thinking it may happen with me also.
See, typically this particular question, I would rarely find companies putting you under pressure, because this is considered as an ice-breaking question, where the idea is to make the person a little comfortable. But again, I have also been in this kind of stress interview where I had a tear in my eye, and if I would have batted my eyelid, the tears would have flown down my cheek. I have had been in this situation, and they are just doing it just to make you super nervous. But in the kind of field that in the data science analytics, that might not be the situation. But yes, how do you deal with it? You have to be just thinking, okay, he's just testing me, give a smile, then okay, say, sir, you had asked me, that's why we're answering, but we can move on to the next question. You just have to try and create as much calmness as possible in you without thinking this is a direct attack at you. Don't think about it as an attack. Think about, okay, this is also a part of your interview, which is not easy. Because I told you, I've been in that situation when I was as young as you guys were, and I had tears in my eyes sitting over here, and I could bat and tears will roll down. So in any case where they are trying you for your pressure, try to keep as calm as possible. Whatever you can think of to make you in a very happy place, try to think of that. If you really want that job, go for it. All right. Okay. Any questions you guys have? I am done with what I had to talk about.
Ma'am, I have two questions. May I please go ahead with it?
Sure, sure.
Okay, my first question is, even though it rarely happens, some of the interviewers, while for example, I have an interviewer who has asked me to speak about a topic, and then he gets busy on his phone. Maybe he has got he got a message, and he starts typing. So, like, even though I have managed my own way to, overcome it, but can you give your inputs? Like, is it advisable to say that? Would you like me to pause for a while? Otherwise, what happens is
No, no, no,
it
no.
becomes very difficult to connect or to stay connected with the interviewer at that point of
Yeah.
time.
But Dhritima, there can be two things. Like, for example, if I take Pratik's example, when he takes interview, he takes notes on his laptop, but he's not
Mhm.
disconnected. He's still listening. So our work is just to
Okay.
look at that person and keep talking, and keep it talking in the way that he's looking at me. Okay.
Okay.
So don't stop.
So,
Don't ask him, should I pause? Because he's doing some work. It may be that he's only taking notes of the interview that you have. So don't worry about these things.
okay. Sometimes, like, I have faced such situations when the interviewer, like a few of the interviewers, get some messages on his phone, and he starts typing. So in between, in the middle of the interview. So I feel that
Yeah.
I am not able to stay connected with the interviewer, or whenever he's done with his message, he will look at me, and I will have to repeat all over again. So that's one point when I feel that I am not able to stay connected with the interviewer. So how to deal with that situation? That's my first question. If you can give your inputs on that.
So, like I said, we are in corporate, so it may happen, and it does happen a lot of time that an important message has come and you need to answer that. Now, if the
Mhm.
interviewer is interested in you, if you've created that first impression, if you've created that repo with him, he or she will
Mhm.
answer, and if he or she wants you to repeat the answer to the question the person had asked, they will ask politely. And, oh, I'm so sorry, I
Okay.
got this message, and could you please repeat it? Okay,
Right.
so you
Right.
just have to make
Okay.
sure that we connect. The rapport building, the connect has to be instant with these guys,
Absolutely.
right? So that is the
Absolutely.
key
Yes.
to make them interested in us, because otherwise they can be
Ab-
doing anything and we can't do anything about it, and we can't tell them, should they pause? It seems you got a message, can't say anything like that.
No, not like it seems you got a message. Otherwise, it sounds very rude. That the second part. But yeah, but let's
Even
see.
you
It
are saying,
depends on
should I
how.
pause? What am I have been pausing, right?
Yeah.
It
So it
seems like
depends
he
on
got into
how I have built the
multitasking.
rapport with the interviewer.
You build your
And my
rapport
second
by having, tell me.
Yeah, my second question is, ma'am, it is advised by some of the soft skills trainers in some of the MNCs that, before going for an interview or before going for a client meeting, they advise to stand in front of the mirror and to do a rehearsal. Even though I
Yeah,
haven't applied it, but do you advise such process?
yes, absolutely.
Okay, great.
Because you know why?
Okay.
Because remember when we just started in the beginning, some of you said hand shiver, leg move, and all those things. So these kind of habit, I'll tell you, like my daughter also has this habit. When she will talk and finish a sentence, she'll repeat that sentence with no voice,
Right.
something like that.
And
Okay.
right,
And
and they
when I
all
pointed
and
out to her, she said, I don't even
Mhm.
understand that I do it. So when you do it in
Right.
front of the mirror, these kind of awkward habits like chewing the, when you're nervous, chewing this, these kind of things, or doing like this again and again, things like this
Mhm.
get visible to you itself. And then you will only know it's
Correct.
awkward and I should control it.
Correct. And the other question is, the soft skills trainers, they also they picked up some of my colleagues who were not that good in communication skill. Now what they did
Mhm.
is they trained them, and they also suggested them to watch as much as like news channels, English news channels as much as possible, maybe like BBC,
Absolutely.
or watch Tintins, which has got the proper UK or US accent, because they need to
No,
go to the client meetings.
so it depends. So it depends, Ritiman. So my experience, I've lived in US, I studied there, I lived there, I worked there. My advice is that if I'm Indian and if I'm born and raised and I've spoken in certain manner in English for 24 years, I instantly
Mhm.
can't Americanize myself or make myself a Brit, right? So
Right.
even when I was in US, you try not to put an accent. What we are advised to tell and do, because right now also I do, you know, talk to my cousins in US. I've got my cousins in London, and they have the accent because they're born and raised over there. But when I talk to them,
Correct.
I adopt neutral English, which is a global English.
Right. Right.
Okay. So
Right.
when you're watching
Right.
these channels, until and unless you don't are dealing, I would say never try to fake the accent. It's mission impossible. It's
Right.
impossible.
Right.
You
Because it
look
sounds
more
like
weird.
yeah we are just imitating them. It looks that way.
It looks bad. Okay. Secondly, now
Yeah.
which channel should we watch? Something which is like neutral English channels, where there is no
Correct.
accent. There is no Indian
Right.
accent. There is no US accent. There is no UK accent. And if you
Right.
watch that, see, Netflix is not neutral, Arvind. But if you watch them, why we ask people to watch such channels? Because sometimes we have mother tongue influences. Now, if you watch a
Right.
neutral English, your ears become accustomed. Or let's say if I am
Right.
dealing with a US client, then I should watch
Hmm.
English movies. I should listen to English songs because I want my ears to get accustomed to their accent.
Right. Right. To
Or if I'm
understand
a
them
British,
better.
but I don't have to exactly to understand them better, to comprehend them better on the phones and the video calls, not to adapt
Hmm.
their accent.
Right. Right. Just to
Okay?
understand them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Yes, Amit, you have questions?
Yes, ma'am. I
Yeah.
Yeah, like I have two questions. The first is like if the interviewer asks me like why should I hire you? Instead, like I can promote someone from my own company. So what to answer in that scenario?
So basically, you have to match yourself with the JD that you had and
Hmm.
tell, okay, where all do you fit in that JD? So you have to use the words from that JD in putting up what you know, how you've learned it. If there are certain technologies they are looking for, then emphasize on the fact that I have done this technology, I've got hands-on, I've got better understanding on this technology, and hence I'm going to be a better fit at
Okay, okay, thank you, ma'am. And the
it.
next
Okay.
one is like at the end, the interviewer always says that do you have any questions for me? So like
Yes.
at point, what should we ask the interviewer?
So you can ask about the work culture, you can ask about the work-life balance, you can ask about how, let's say, if I join, if I am given an opportunity to work for your organization, what will be my career path? Or, how do I see, what kind of projects would I be working on? Those kind of things.
Okay,
Nothing related to salary, nothing related to when can I join or when will I come to know about the result and things like that.
Okay. Okay.
Nothing
Not even the
about
salary
the
part.
company. Very
Ma'am,
important is
sometimes the
don't
interviewer,
always ask.
ma'am,
Say that again.
sometimes the interviewer himself asks, do you have
He
any,
can ask.
like, what is your salary expectations? Even though I
Yes.
say that it is based on the company standards, but like,
No.
how would you like suggest?
See, there is no company standard. Basically, you have to understand, let's say if I have 3 to 4 years of experience and I've got the skill set, what is the average industry salary packages? And have always give them a range, never give them one number. Okay.
Right,
So
ma'am.
for
Right.
example, if I'm starting new, I'm a fresher. And if I'm in Calcutta, if somebody asks me, what is your expectation? I'll say 3.5 to 4.5. Because I know that is something that the companies work on in Calcutta. I'll get it. If I've moved to Bangalore, let's say I have 2-3 years of experience and I've understood analytics and all, how much should I get? 6 to 8 lakhs. So you have to know
Correct.
ahead of time
Right,
that a
ma'am.
person who is working in that particular, and these things are very easy these days. Go to Glassdoor, everywhere you will get the salary information of a company. So know the salary information and say in the ballpark. Never say one. Like I can't say I want 5.5 only. Don't say something like that. Always give them a area to work upon. You should not sound very cheap and you should not sound very expensive to them. In both the cases, they'll leave the candidate. Cheap one, they'll hire you for cheap. They won't leave you. But then you could have asked or bargained or negotiated for better.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
in
Arvind.
that, I want to ask two things. First thing is like sometime some HR called me and they in the first call they asked what is the salary expectation. So I said this is not the correct time. I think first we should proceed with the interview and then we can talk about it. But they said no. They said no rigidly that we want to know.
Yeah,
Then what I did is my
absolutely.
salary into 30%, like 30% hike
Yeah,
I
that's
expect.
fine. That's fine. See, even when we are hiring, Arvind, to be very honest, we have a limitations of how much we want to pay. I know I can get best of talents, but at a very high price. Now, I'm not ready to pay that high price. So even when we are giving an opening to our HR saying, I want this kind of person, she will always ask, what is the salary you're going to give? And when she's talking, she gets that expectation from the person. Only then the person goes for the actual round of interview. So that's a very common thing. Any HR would do.
Okay, so we should say
Okay,
like we cannot say that no, I don't want to say. I think first we should.
No. You don't say like that. Or if you're already a working professional, which you are, you say my current salary is this and I'm expecting a hike of at least this much %. So let them know like that.
Okay. And second is I
Okay.
want to get your experience, like you are in this industry, interviewers, people who take interview and all. So I have seen like many times they take interview, like in my case personal experience, like I have never went to the first interview round. Okay, after getting experience, like not as a fresher, after getting experience of 2 years. But my friends who have had 2 years experience, they gave means 10 or to 12 interviews, and these all 10 to 12 interviews went to the last round, like where the HR negotiated and they talked about it, and the salary was also not that much expensive or that cheap. It was an average, but in that 10 to 12 companies, no company did ever came back and never replied. So he was among, but I want to know in this scenario that why these people like spend so much time on interviewing and getting to the last round, and then at least they should tell that yeah, this was the reason that we could not proceed forward. At least some reply should be there. So
So
I want to
typically,
understand their mentality.
yeah. So typically, guys do not tell the reason to the candidates. To be very honest, they might come out like a person who is very, you can't appreciate if someone tells a negative thing about you. Okay, this is a negative in you, and that's why I didn't hire you. Now, a lot of time, what happens, and nowadays it has started happening. Back in my days, this was not a problem. Nowadays, what happens? Equal power has been given to the technical team and the HR team. Equal power of hiring. So I've been in interviews where the person is IIT IIM's graduate, so the highest level of degrees you can think about in India, and the HR came and said no, we are not going to hire this person, putting the foot down, and technical team had to let go of it. Okay, and this is why it happened. So a lot of time in our case also, in our students, they have reached the last round where we are excited that the offer letter is coming, and suddenly no offer letter comes. Why? Because somebody in the final round found mother tongue influence. Accent is there, that's why we can't hire. So
but this is very expensive for the company also to to interview a candidate till the 5-6
absolutely, absolutely. But Arvind, they have to make sure that the person is best fit for the company. They don't mind spending time and energy on finding the best fit for the company, because if they just hire a person and then they find he's not best fit, that again a lot of investment happens in
My
that.
point is like if there are interviews which are in stepwise, like first you clear first step, then you go to the second. So by that we understand if you reach to the final step, then this is not the first, second, third, and
No, you
runner.
can't. You can't, right? Why? I'll tell you. There is a technical team who is trying to understand your technical know-how. They say, yes, he is good. So you know Python codes, you know R codes, you know what to do in all these tools. But when you reach the business round, you can't connect data in the business together and the tools. Then what is the point? I'm not going to hire you. Or you were able to, talk to the business manager who himself may be very, submissive kind of personality. But when it goes to the final round, you don't look like a person I can hire for my company. You'll get rejected. Each round has its own importance. It's not that if one round is done, second round is there, then it means that, okay, it's already closed. It's not necessary. Each round has its own importance why they are kept like that. So you can't really tell HRs or the technical or the business managers that, no, I have cleared this now on what basis you are rejecting. They are going to look at each and everything. And HR's work is to see that the person is going to be best fit of the company, is going to be versatile, will be able to fit in the team, will be a person who will create some self goals, be persuasive in doing, will be client facing or not. A business manager has to understand, if I give a data to this person with the business problem, will he or she will be able to work on his own or no? A technical guy, a team, a team lead might be interested to know whether you know certain tools and a part of the tools or not. So each and every person who is doing an interview with you has a different motive to understand a part of your personality, but overall will be because of the collation of all the rounds, not because of one particular round. Okay.
So in the when like I want to ask last question. Like suppose there was a 7-round interview for a company, and we understand that I have already gone to the 6th round and I am in the final round, 7th round. So should I negotiate in such a manner that I lower my expectations so that I understand, because I have gone to the 6th phases of interview and this is a final round. So in the terms of money matter, at least I should not fall down. At least I should money wise.
Nothing like that. See, Arvind, the thing is, when the money matter has to be discussed, then the money matter will come in picture with these guys. So for example, if a VP is taking your interview, why will you talk about anything related to money or lowering down your standards? Let the course of interview take time. You can't do anything to make it in your favor except for excellencing in that particular round itself. Nothing else can be done. Okay, when they are ready to talk about money, they will talk about money. There's not going to be any point where you will have an opportunity to drop this information that I'm okay to work at less, and they are not going to compromise because you're okay to work at less.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Ma'am,
One second.
ma'am,
Amit, Shruti has asked a
yeah,
question. One second. If the interviewer asked why do you want to leave your existing company, then you have to be candid with the answer. Typically, why people leave the company for a growth. So if you're seeing a better growth, then you will leave. If you see better opportunity in terms of monetary, then you leave. Or if you don't like the work environment or the people you work with, you leave. So those are the reasons. Be candid about it. What is your reason for finding it out? Location could be another reason. Correct, Kaushik. You can't fabricate it and make it a very flowery image where you don't look bad. Everybody know he himself as a manager, if he gets a better opportunity, a better role in a company, he will move. So we all understand these are like human things. Amit, what's your question? And this is the last question, guys. Okay.
yes, ma'am.
It's
Sorry, ma'am.
9:50. Let's call it a night. Yes, Amit.
Yes. Ma'am, me coming from a non-analytical or not technical background, so I'm studying in Ivy. So like when I'm searching for new jobs in like Naukri or LinkedIn, wherever I'm seeing I'm trying to apply, there the qualifications or the requirements are like minimum 2 to 3 years of experience in this R, SQL or whatever be the thing. But me coming from a non-technical or non-analytical background, so how can we look forward to search for a job in this field? If
Okay,
you can
so
say.
see, a CV building workshop, Shilpi, yes, you can request Sonali, she will create it. Amit, to answer your question, always this kind of statement comes. Freshers tell me that working professionals are being hired. Working professionals tells me all the openings are for freshers. So, like I said, grass is always greener on the other side. But
Yes, ma'am.
to make you understand about a company works with both type of people. There is no company which can work with all experience and superb set of folks because it means a lot of money also, right? So they have to have a right balance of juniors or the freshers coming into the pool and the right set of managers in the pool. So you have to look for as a fresher 0 years of experience or 0 to 6 months years of experience and try to apply for jobs. So even if you are working professional but you do not have analytics experience, you don't still qualify for the lateral positions like the one you're talking about, in which, like right now I have a opening in Pune in Honeywell where they're asking people with 2 years of Tableau experience. Now I know if I reach out to current pool of the people, I'm not going to get that. So I have to reach out to my alumni who are already working in Tableau, right?
Yes.
So there is experience in analytics. There is relevant experience, which means experience of your industry. Let's say a financial experience or a marketing experience, so that you understand the business and the data better than a fresher. And then there are freshers. So these three things you can look at. So you are going to fall in that fresher pool. People like, for example, Arvind is there and Dhitiman is there. These people have worked. So they will fall in the second pool where they have relevant experience but not analytics experience. And if I had some alumni of Ivy who is already working in this industry, he will fall in the last pool. But
Ma'am,
a
same with
company
me,
needs
ma'am.
all.
Ma'am, same with me, ma'am. I'm working in Genpact right now, like for
Oh,
2
so
years.
you're not a fresher. How are you fresher?
I'm not a fresher, ma'am. But I'm a fresher in this analytical field, to say.
Don't call yourself fresher in analytics. There is nothing called fresher in analytics. It's fresher is basic definition right out of college. Nothing else is fresher. See,
Okay.
again, this is about your appearance, your body language, your assertiveness. If you portray yourself, I am a fresher, they will treat you like a fresher who does not know what corporate means, how the working environment is, how the businesses is run. You have no knowledge, but you do.
Yes.
And you're working for a good company. Right? So you are going to bring a value. If I hire a fresher, if when you were a fresher versus now, you would have seen a drastic difference in your personality, the way you talk, the way you're handling documents, the way you're handling data. There's a big difference, even though you were not in analytics, right? So there's an investment that I've already done, and you're bringing that to my table when I hire you from Genpact to XYZ company. So you are not a fresher. So don't portray yourself as a fresher.
Okay, ma'am.
You would not
Sure.
believe that if I keep two resumes back to back, 30 to 40% of whatever you do, you can map it to analytics easily.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, but you have to go through the JD properly, map it, look at the keywords and phrase it. So
Yeah,
that
like
does not
everywhere I see, like in Naukri or LinkedIn or anywhere, Monster, Shine, their basic requirements are like 2 years of experience, like minimum 2 years of experience in this tool or that tool or whatever
What
tool.
about the job alerts Ivy sent? Is that the requirement in those job alerts?
Yeah, like yeah, somewhat they are also, but yeah,
No,
for
they are
us
not.
also.
They get rejected beforehand only. Because I don't know, if I'm not going to cater to the company also, they will also blacklist me for giving wrong set of people. You guys will also blacklist me for giving you wrong type of jobs. So it's just the opportunity. Wait for the opportunity. Keep looking out. It is not that only one set of. And where will I get this experience, folks, if they don't start as a fresher at any point? Think about that.
Right, ma'am.
Right?
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this session. Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Kaushik, you may leave, and I'm also going to leave.
Yes, ma'am.
I hope you enjoyed this session. And any other questions that you have, you guys know me, you know my number. Do a personal message, and I'll try my level best to answer it today or by tomorrow. Okay. You have a good night. Thank you, Arvind. You can come back to Ivy whenever you want. Okay. So you have a good night, guys, and I'll see you again next workshop probably. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Good
Thank you
night.
so much, ma'am, for your inputs.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.